All right, Christopher Reeve voted number one best Superman actor of all time by DC fans.
No surprise there.
I guess.
It's
I gotta
you
give it
said it's
to
a
him, man.
it's a nostalgia. You think it's a nostalgia thing?
Yeah, it really is. Christopher Reeve's Superman kind of was
Foundation.
The foundation. It was the first Superman that actually had kind of believable movie effects, and he kind of looked like Superman, and they, all the stuff that they did with the Superman movies, those early movies with Christopher Reeves were really kind of groundbreaking because you did not get that level of effect and flying around and all of that. Like you really didn't get that. So his there's a lot of nostalgia. Check that, because now the difference between his movie and the early black and white joints is what, 40 years or something like that.
Maybe
It's about 35 to 40 years. Yeah,
it's like 35, 40 year difference, bro. So,
I love this comment. Cavill had never had a chance to spread his wings. BVS was a Batman movie. True, Batman vs Superman. In Justice League, Cavill showed up in the middle of the movie. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, I don't know, man. I think Henry Cavill really had the potential to be such a good Superman. He just he got such crappy movies.
Don't you just love
Man
the
of Steel was
politics of
good,
Hollywood?
Man of Steel was an okay movie.
it was dope.
Sorry, Torian. What'd you say?
I said, don't you just love the politics of Hollywood?
Absolutely.
LeBron better buy some.
Cavell was Henry Cavill easily could have been the most iconic Superman ever. He unfortunately came at a time where the politics and the transitions were happening, and it wasn't in his favor. And I feel like they kind of hated on him for that and whatnot. He
was such a beloved, and the Superman is such a beloved character, so a lot of people are going to be very picky about who they cast for these roles. I mean, look at just how long it was for them to try to cast Wonder Woman. That was a long, tedious process too, probably longer. It came to casting Superman.
Same thing with Gal Gadot, though. Like, I feel like they were iconic. They listen, Henry Cavill's Superman to me is Superman. Period. I don't care what anybody's talking about. But now you've got Superman, you got Batman versus Superman, you got Wonder Woman coming out, you got the Justice League. So they really didn't get it. We didn't get a chance to let him do what he does. Yeah. And that's part of the issue. You know what I'm saying? Christopher Reeve had, Superman 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? There was no crowd there.
Yeah, he had a whole trilogy.
You know what I'm saying? He had a whole thing. So,
I grew up with Christopher Reeve Superman, despite the fact that I was born in the 90s.
You were raised right, Kelly.
Yeah,
you were raised right. Probably raised right.
And I'll never forget too. Like, because see, the thing is, of course, being when I was born, the first time I saw Christopher Reeve was unfortunately after he got paralyzed, so he was in the wheelchair. And I remember seeing him on an episode of The Adventures of Superman and Lois. And I remember watching an episode, and my mother was telling me, she was like, "That's Superman." I was like, "Who's Superman?" I said, "Him right there." I said, "Him in the chair." I was like, "No, Dean Cain." I said, "That's Superman." They're like, "No, that's Superman right there." And I'm like, "Why?" I'm literally about to go on. Listen, I'm about to go on a whole back and forth with a grown woman who was my mother, and I'm a child. Like, "No, that's not Superman." And like, "No," and she had to show me. Like, "No, that's Superman." I'm like, "Why is he sitting in the chair?" I said, "Well, he got paralyzed from a horse riding accident that he had." And I was like, "Oh," and it just kind of blew my mind, because when I thought of Superman, the Dean Cain version was the first Superman I got exposed to. I didn't get exposed to Christopher Reeve's version until, of course, that episode. And then I went back and was like, "Oh, wow." I said, that's crazy.
And when he got the rumor was, before he got hurt, they were going to break out the Justice League under him, like it was supposed to be broken out way back then. So it was like he got hurt, everything just stopped with Superman until
and when I heard about that injury, it's like it makes me clench up every time when I hear about that injury.
Riding the horses, bro, is not an easy fucking job.
I think Henry Cavill's doing all right. He got cast in the MCU for a role. He's making Warhammer 40K. I think he's gonna be all right.
He's out here making his own PCs.
I think he's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying?
He's living his best nerd life right now.
Yeah, bro. Let me tell you something. Warhammer is probably gonna be a dope fucking movie whenever that comes out. I'm assuming it's not till like 26. Some shit like that when we'll start to hear about it. But that movie's gonna be dope.
Did y'all see that video that he did? I'm sure y'all probably did, but it was during the pandemic when he made his PC.
Oh yeah.
I think the craziest part about that, besides him actually building the PC, was the fact that he built the PC with a Barry White song playing over it. I'm like, I was trying to figure out what's the correlation of him playing the Barry White song while building his PC. I was not expecting that.
He's a nerd. He likes weird shit.
It was a weird combination.
If there's one person who's a nerd, Henry Cavill is a goddamn nerd.
Yeah,
I think the people I've seen act in movies that are actual nerds in like nerdy movies, like Aman Vellani, man. Both of them are nerds to their core. You know what I'm saying? People sleep on Dean Cain. He was a cold Superman too. That probably could rival Reeves. Ooh.
I don't know. Dean Cain.
I said Dean Cain back in the day, I could rock with him, but nowadays as a person, I can't. Like he has a lot of controversy. Controversy.
Yeah, no Diddy. Dean Cain always seemed to me like he should be on a Superman pinup or something, bro. He seemed like the dude you find in the middle of Playgirl.
That accent,
not Playgirl.
that accent still sends chills down my spine.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Like every time I hear about it, it's like, oh my! I couldn't have imagined like people there and actually seeing that happen.
Yeah, that's crazy.